But if you don't understand fraud to be something like this, and you think it's this, you have no chance, right? You, as an insurance company, as an insurance adjuster, it's a much different deal when you're dealing with one person trying to outsmart you versus a whole group, a fraud factory that is in motion, in place, paid, and working together while your people are burdened by their activity and from multiple angles, because different groups create fraudulent claims and attack one insurer as part of their strategy, which I'll discuss further in another video. But then, if one adjuster isn't playing ball or giving them what they want, not overpaying the claim, they'll just create conflict. And see, they'll have one of the other claims create a situation where they can make a complaint. And then they'll have one of the other claims do that. Now you've got two complaints on one adjuster. And it's not even the one that's really the issue. You see, I'm talking about the organized groups of people that will do anything, that on a daily basis are actively committing fraud and setting up claims so that insurance companies don't always know that they're fraudulent because, well, they look like real claims. Some claims look like they're fraudulent, but not all of them. And these guys and girls know ways to make them look like real claims. And I'm going to explain to you how you can go about finding out whether they were real claims and other things you can do depending on what you're willing to do as an insurance company to uncover fraud.